Welcome to Rice TVX and the latest episode of the Rice Crypto Show. Give me a 5x5. Let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. Today we're going to be talking about the Cypherpunks Manifesto and the Cypherpunk movement. Because privacy is necessary for an open society in the electric age. And before we begin, a few quick messages from the sponsors of Rice TVX who make it possible for me to do this full time. Shout out to Monarch Wallet and Presearch. Make sure you smash that like button. It helps other people to be able to find these kind of videos and Rice TVX, and it would be greatly appreciated. Now, really quickly, the reason I really wanted to put this out is we have the rise of Central Bank Digital Currencies, CBDCs, and coming with digital ID. And as I mentioned, privacy is necessary for an open society in the electronic age. And the Cypherpunks foresaw this. They foresaw the need for privacy years ago and have been working on solutions to help humanity. This is information that I feel, in my opinion, needs to be heard and shared, especially today. It's more important than ever. I do appreciate you guys for tuning in. Before we begin the video, I still want to give everybody time to get situated in today's live stream. In case you don't know, there are changes happening here at the channel. I have a new channel, Rice Against the Grain. If you're a fan of what was the Stranger Than Fiction content, I am now moving that to a new channel, Rice Against the Grain, and Rice TVX will be focusing on crypto, economics, and politics. So 2 channels. Make sure you're subscribed and make sure you're checking out this really quick channel promo, which will explain a lot more in detail where you can follow me, not only on YouTube, but other alternative platforms as well. Before we get into it, make sure you visit ricetvx.com and sign up for my mailing list so you never miss an update or new Rice TVX and Rice Against the Grain content. You will also find links to all of my various channels as well as my social media. Make sure you're following both of my YouTube channels, Rice TVX as well as Rice Against the Grain. And due to censorship, make sure you follow me on other alternative platforms such as Rumble and Odyssey, where I do post up exclusive content. If you want to support Rice TVX, be sure to check out and join my Patreon channel, where you will get early access to my videos with no ads, unedited. You will also get exclusive content and more. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be coming at the comments later in the live stream. I'm going to try to keep this live stream as short as possible, keep this message tight and concise. I will be doing a video tomorrow, and that video is going to be all about what is happening here at Rice TVX, explaining the changes and letting people know about the new channel, Rice Against the Grain. Make sure you subscribed. Make sure you follow me on Rumble and Odyssey, where I'm going to be starting to do exclusive live streams over there with some uncensored conversation. That's way too much for YouTube. So thank you again for tuning in. As I mentioned, with the rise of central bank digital currencies, and I'm going to be doing a video about central bank digital currencies as well. We're talking about centralized money, or currency, I should say, not money, because there is a difference between money and currency. But we're talking about centralized currency that is programmable. Now, if you have not seen the video that I put out a few weeks ago, the thumbnail says global slave system. Be sure to check that out. I think the title of it is something to the effect of "Something Terrible is Happening to the Global Financial System." And that title was suggested by my friend Donut from the Donut Factory. Check that video out. Kent Lewis lays down a lot of this. He's done a lot of great research, but I will be doing a video specifically about CBDCs and warning people about the fact of programmable money that you have no privacy with, that offers the government and central banks nothing but complete tracking and tracing and control. And programmability, they can program money to be spent, currency to be spent in a certain time period. They can limit how much you can save. They can even opt where you cannot purchase things from. Let's say that you're overweight or diabetic. They may not let you purchase foods that are going to help you to increase gaining weight, or that will help you be more healthy if you have diabetes. Now, this should be something that people should have the freedom to choose, but this is the future that is coming. It's very George Orwell, 1984, very Aldous Huxley, Brave New World. If you're not familiar with either one of those books, I definitely encourage you to check those out. But what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to share the Cypherpunks Manifesto. It was written by Eric Hughes on March 9th of 1993, and it was posted on activism.net. This is really important information that needs to be shared today, especially in the face of some central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, because the cypherpunks foresaw this and they have been creating solutions, Bitcoin being one of those solutions. So I pre-recorded me reading this document. It's not very long. The entire reading of it is right under 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and play that now. Then I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the movement itself, what the cypherpunks were, what they were aiming to do, and some of the things that they have achieved, and how it's influenced me and my work. So here we go. Enjoy and be sure to share. A Cypherpunks Manifesto by Eric Hughes, published on March 9th, 1993 on activism.net. Privacy is necessary for an open society in the electronic age. Privacy is not secrecy. A private matter is something one doesn't want the whole world to know, but a secret matter is something one doesn't want anybody to know. Privacy is the power to selectively reveal oneself to the world. If two parties have some sort of dealings, then each has a memory of their interaction. Each party can speak about their own memory of this. How could anyone prevent it? One could pass laws against it, but the freedom of speech, even more than privacy, is fundamental to an open society. We seek not to restrict any speech at all. If many parties speak together in the same forum, each can speak to all the others and aggregate together knowledge about the individuals and other parties. The power of electronic communications has enabled such group speech, and it will not go away merely because we might want it to. Since we desire privacy, we must ensure that each party to the transaction have knowledge only to that which is directly necessary for that transaction. Since any information can be spoken of, we must ensure that we reveal as little as possible. In most cases, personal identity is not salient. When I purchase a magazine at a store and hand cash to the clerk, there is no need to know who I am. When I ask my electronic mail provider to send and receive messages, my provider need not know who I am speaking or what I am saying or what others are saying to me. My provider only needs to know how to get the message there and how much I owe them in fees. When my identity is revealed by the underlying mechanism of the transaction, I have no privacy. I cannot here selectively reveal myself. I must always reveal myself. Therefore, privacy in an open society requires anonymous transaction systems. Until now, cash has been the primary such system. An anonymous transaction system is not a secret transaction system. An anonymous system empowers individuals to reveal their identity when desired and only when desired. This is the essence of privacy. Privacy in an open society also requires cryptography. If I say something, I want it heard only by those for whom I intend it. If the content of my speech is available to the world, I have no privacy. To encrypt is to indicate the desire for privacy, and to encrypt with weak cryptography is to indicate not too much desire for privacy. Furthermore, to reveal one's identity with assurance when the default is anonymity requires the cryptographic signature. We cannot expect governments, corporations, or other large, faceless organizations to grant us privacy out of their beneficence. It is to their advantage to speak of us, and we should expect that they will speak. To try to prevent their speech is to fight against the realities of information. Information does not just want to be free, it longs to be free. Information expands to fill the available storage space. Information is rumor's younger, stronger cousin. Information is fleeter of foot, has more eyes, knows more, and understands less than rumor. We must defend our own privacy if we expect to have any. We must come together and create systems which allow anonymous transactions to take place. People have been defending their own privacy for centuries with whispers, darkness, envelopes, closed doors, secret handshakes, and couriers. The technologies of the past did not allow for strong privacy, but electronic technologies do. We, the Cypherpunks, are dedicated to building anonymous systems. We are defending our privacy with cryptography, with anonymous mail forwarding systems, with digital signatures, and with electronic money. Cypherpunks write code. We know that someone has to write software to defend privacy. And since we can't get privacy unless we all do, we're going to write it. We publish our own code so that our fellow cypherpunks may practice and play with it. Our code is free for all to use worldwide. We don't much care if you don't approve of the software we write. We know that software can't be destroyed and that a widely dispersed system can't be shut down. Cypherpunks deplore regulation on cryptography, for encryption is fundamentally a private act. The act of encryption, in fact, removes information from the public realm. Even laws against cryptography reach only so far as a nation's borders and the arms of its violence. Cryptography will ineluctably spread over the whole globe, and with it, the anonymous transaction systems that make it possible. For privacy to be widespread, it must be a part of a social contract. People must come together, deploy these systems for the common good. Privacy only extends so far as the cooperation of one's fellows in society. We, the Cypherpunks, seek your questions and your concerns and hope we may engage you so that we do not deceive ourselves. We will not, however, be moved out of our course because some may disagree with our goals. The Cypherpunks are actively engaged in making the network safer for privacy. Let us proceed together apace. Onward. Eric Hughes, 9th of March, 1993. Now, to me, that is some really powerful stuff, and this is what I say needs to be shared. The Cypherpunks Manifesto. Now, I got something else I want to share, and then we're going to talk about the movement, ideologies, and philosophy behind the Cypherpunks.
On centralized intermediaries like banks and credit card companies. In 2008, a person or group of people using the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto proposed a decentralized peer-to-peer system for making and processing payments. A key challenge in digital payments is to prevent the same assets from being spent twice. The Bitcoin white paper proposed a novel method for validating transactions using cryptography that addressed the so-called double spend problem.
Now, what she said there is actually one of the smartest things I've ever heard come out of that lady's mouth. There's been a couple times that people that work in government capacities have said something very intelligent when it comes to cryptocurrency and blockchain technology and distributed ledger technology. I'm going to have links down below for everything that I talk about on today's show. And I definitely encourage you to share this video. Stay tuned for the video that I'm going to be doing about CBDCs. It's probably going to be early next week. I'm going to be doing a video tomorrow about channel changes. I'm going to be going live with Ethan Lucas. It's Sunday at 1:00 p.m. Eastern time here on Rice TVX. I'll explain more about that tomorrow. And if you have not watched the video that I put out a couple days ago, on October the 31st, which was today is Thursday, so 4 days ago, was the anniversary of the Bitcoin white paper. It came out 14 years ago on Halloween, October the 31st. That's when Satoshi Nakamoto, or as Janet Yellen likes to say, Nakamoto, Satoshi Nakamoto released the Bitcoin white paper on October the 31st, 2008. Check out this video because I go a little bit more in depth about why I got involved in crypto. And also, if you think something negative about crypto, if you're one of these people who just are mindset that cryptocurrency is bad, definitely watch this video and you'll understand a lot of my mentality when it comes to cryptocurrency and why I look at this technology as being a blessing. And it's also a curse. It's what can be used to control us, and it's what we can use to free ourselves. So definitely check out that Bitcoin video. I got to go ahead and get this next screen share pulled up. Hold on one second. Didn't mean to do that. Let me pull up this next screen share here. And I will have links for the Cypherpunks manifesto if you want to read it yourself on activism.net. You will also find a link for just all the Cypherpunks information that's also available on activism.net if you want to do a deeper dive yourself. I always encourage people to do their own research so you can read a lot more information about the mailing list, the history, what some of these terms mean. There's a lot of really good resources right here on activism.net. Now, the next thing I wanted to share comes from Nakamoto.com, and it's about the Cypherpunks. So long before Facebook, and let me make sure everything is looking good here on the screen share. Okay. All right. So long before Facebook, long before the great firewall of China, and we're talking about the Chinese internet and how it's controlled by the Chinese government. Long before Snowden's revelations, the cypherpunks saw it coming. They foretold a regimen of online censorship and surveillance that would eclipse the open internet. And according to the cypherpunks, there was only one tool that would ensure the internet's freedom, and that is cryptography. And just so you know, the word crypto comes from a Greek word, kryptos. Now, kryptos just simply means secret or hidden. A lot of people want to associate the word crypto with crypt and death and stuff to that effect, and that is completely opposite of the fact. There's a history of cryptography that actually goes back, and that's what I'm going to be reading about here now. So cryptography is the mathematics of codes and code breaking. Prior to the 1970s, cryptography was a relatively arcane field practiced only by the military and by spy agencies. At the time, strong encryption, anything more than 40 bits of security, was considered to be military munition and therefore illegal to export from the US. But the cypherpunks believed that cryptography was critical to a sovereign internet. The inventions of Diffie-Hellman, RSA, and PGP presaged an age when individuals could have true freedoms and privacy in their digital speech. Encryption was the best way to wrest power away from governments back towards individuals. And they also mention an early cypherpunk, Adam Back, who is listed and cited in the Bitcoin white paper. He is the CEO of Blockstream, and I definitely have very mixed feelings about him, but I do appreciate his contributions as a cypherpunk. As far as the economics, it's important to understand the cypherpunks' take on economic philosophy. Cypherpunks were suspicious of central banks and their control over monetary policy after the end of Bretton Woods. Many years later, their suspicions were arguably justified after the financial crisis of 2008, when central banks created massive amounts of money to bail out failing banks. Let me go ahead and remove this part from the screen here. And if you're enjoying this video and you have not smashed that like button, please take time to give this video a like. You'd be greatly appreciated. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you are subscribed. To continue on, it's worth taking a brief excursion here in general governments of two ways to finance their operations. The first is taxation, where a government directly transfers money from citizens into its coffers. The second way is by printing money, traditionally known as seigniorage. Now, seigniorage, which also transfers money to the government, but is also a more subtle way to analyze. It's when a government prints money, the government obviously acquires currency, but the citizens often find out that the value of their currency holdings has depreciated since there's now more money chasing the same real assets. When you put more money into the public with printing more money, it inflates the money supply. So it makes all the current money that's already in existence worth less because more comes in to take its place, and they all just have they're fighting from the same pool basically. I also pulled up a term here to explain what and I hope I'm saying the seigniorage is a difference between the face value of money, such as a $10 bill or a quarter coin, and the cost to produce it. In other words, the cost of producing a currency within a given economy or country is lower than the actual exchange value, which generally accrues to governments that mint the money. If the seigniorage is positive, the government will make a profit. A negative seigniorage will result in a loss. Now, I can tell you, like with things like pennies, they're taking a loss. But with things like dollar bills, especially $100 bills, they're definitely not taking a loss. But that's what that word means. So to continue on, taxation and seigniorage are roughly economically equivalent, but taxation generally requires the assent of citizens, which is the consent of the governed, whereas printing money can be done unilaterally. The cypherpunks thus saw money printing as a form of theft from the holders of currency. The cypherpunks believed that to have a form of money truly native to cyberspace, it would have to be free from government intervention. After all, the internet itself was already borderless and international. An internet native currency ought to put everyone, regardless of nationality, on a level playing field. Tying a digital economy to a singular fiat currency would subjugate it to the whims of the single country's single bank. And furthermore, such a system should not have a central party capable of surveilling it. Otherwise, that central party would be tempted to censor the system or manipulate the currency. After witnessing the many financial crises, the hyperinflations in the 20th century, the cypherpunks believed that the soundest economic system was one that no one could manipulate. I want to say that one that nothing could manipulate, but one that no one could manipulate. Thus, cyberspace was truly free unless thus cyberspace could not truly be free unless it had its own form of money. This they could agree on. But creating digital money had a technical problem that no one had been able to crack, and that's the double spend problem, as Janet Yellen mentioned, that Satoshi Nakamoto solved the double spend problem. You can continue reading this on your own. I will have this link down below from nakamoto.com. So Cypherpunks, and this comes from academy.bit2me.com. I looked through a couple different sources, and I found these two websites to have some really good resource information and also further links, including the activism site. So cypherpunks are groups of people who engage in digital activism. Cypherpunks are groups of people who engage in digital activism, focusing on protecting the privacy and security of digital users using the best that crypto can offer. Cypherpunk is an activist who defend the idea of using cryptography, powerful, and the best technology to protect the privacy of individuals. Not sure why I can't communicate in these last few sentences. The word cypherpunk is one of the most seen words in the crypto world since the 80s. These activists played a decisive role in the evolution of cryptographic technology used everywhere today, and the defense of our privacy is what we know today as internet. The word cypherpunk was coined by the well-known hacker Jude Milhon in 1992. For this, he joined Cypher, which means encryption, and punk, which means rebel. Simply put, cypherpunk is encryption rebels. In addition, the word has a previously known drift, that of cypherpunk. This word is used to define futuristic science fiction and dystopia literary genre where technology is central to the plot. So there's a big difference between a cyberpunk and a cypherpunk. A cypherpunk is, again, from what this says, is an encryption rebel. It goes through a little bit of the history, how the movement started with Ralph Merkel, going on to talk about David Chaum, who I've talked about in the past, who I'd love to get on for an interview, just has not been able to get in touch with him to get him to commit to an interview. He is known as the godfather of cryptography. He actually, in 1982 or 1983, wrote a dissertation paper that included all but one element used in Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper. So he is definitely a godfather to the cryptography scene. He created the first digital currency beyond the SDR, special drawing rights, that the IMF created in 1969. He created eCash in the 90s. And there's been several other people that followed. The Cypherpunk mailing list being born. This is where a Cypherpunk mailing list is where Satoshi Nakamoto released the Bitcoin white paper in addition to a specific website, which I can't remember the name of off the top of my head. It's in the video that I put out on Monday. But there's more information about different people who are cryptographers and some of the things that they did in this article. So I definitely encourage you to check it out. Some of the main achievements of cypherpunks in its history: the internet. The network of networks is part of an achievement of work done by cypherpunks. In fact, Tim Berners-Lee, the creator of the internet, is a well-known cypherpunk. Throughout his life, Berners-Lee has promoted the idea of open government data worldwide and the fight for rights such as net neutrality, privacy, and openness of the web. We also have SSL encryption for web servers, secure remote access, organizations for the defense of rights, advances in cryptography and computer technology. Again, you can see David Chaum's name written all over the place. There's actually a term that the cypherpunks use called Chaumian, just to kind of reference some of the things that David Chaum did. So again, I definitely encourage you to read a Cypherpunks manifesto and share this video with other people, especially in the wake of CBDCs. We have the Federal Reserve and their Fed now situation happening, and it's really important that people know this information. So I hope you enjoy this video. I'm going to come to the live chat here in just a second. Make sure you sign up for my mailing list over at ricetvx.com so you can stay updated on all things rice. That includes Rice TVX and Rice Against the Grain. You can also support the channel and get a free half ounce of silver. If you're a first-time buyer, visit moneymetals.com. And make sure you use the promo code RICE at checkout. You got to spend a minimum of $100 to be able to do that. And really quickly, I'm going to go ahead and share a little bit of information about how you can get that free half ounce of silver. Get your free half ounce of silver. Take full advantage of my partnership with Money Metals Exchange in 5 easy steps. 1, visit Money Metals. Well, if I could get this thing to fucking work. Get your free half ounce of silver. Take full advantage of my partnership with Money Metals Exchange in 5 easy steps. 1, visit moneymetals.com. 2, be a first-time buyer. 3, purchase a minimum of $100. 4, use the promo code RICE. 5, get a free half ounce of silver, and it's an additional way to support the channel. Also, something else that I would encourage people to do, I got to fix something before I share this. Let's see here. 200, save $50 because I have a partnership with My Patriot Supply. And you can save some money by buying some emergency food and all the items that they have available over on My Patriot Supply. If you visit prepwithrice.com, prepwithrice.com, I'll actually share the website. Bear with me one moment. Because in the rise of all this diesel talk, diesel shortage talk, all the rise of food shortage talk, I'm always encouraging people to buy non-perishable foods. And the foods that you would get via My Patriot Supply at prepwithrice.com is 25 years shelf life. So you definitely want to take advantage of that. Prepwithrice.com, you could save $250 on a 3-month emergency food supply. Again, it's good for 25 years. It's going to be mailed to you in a really discreet way. It's over 2,000 calories per day. You could save $250 instead of paying $897. It's $647 going at prepwithrice.com. You can also save $50 on a 1-month 4-week emergency food kit as well. I definitely encourage you to do so. It's normally $277. Right now, it's $227, and these prices are always up to change. So I've seen it go from saving $150 on a 3-month supply, saving $250, and saving 20%. So I can't say that depending on when you go to the website and buy that you're actually going to get the rate. But if you go there today, you're definitely going to get $250 off on a 3-month emergency food kit and $50 off on the 1 month. And I definitely encourage you to do so. And it's a way that you could support the channel, and it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Make sure that you check out my Patreon. I'm going to be posting up a lot more exclusive content. I haven't posted up anything since I've been back from Vegas. I was sick and then getting back into getting things going with the channel. So I will be posting up more exclusive content over on Patreon. You'll also get early access to videos with no ads and unedited. And I will be including all of the Rice Against the Grain and Rice TVX on all #1 Patreon channel, and I definitely encourage you to check that out. Make sure you smash that like button if you haven't already. Make sure you head over to my other new channel, Rice Against the Grain. I'm going to be posting up old content, best of from the Stranger Than Fiction content, and posting it over on Rice Against the Grain, as well as some new videos. I'm planning on doing a live stream this weekend on Rumble and Odyssey live that you won't get on YouTube. That will later be uploaded to the Rice Against the Grain YouTube channel. And I'm going to be talking about an interesting thing that's going to be happening at the COP27 meeting, something that I found out watching a Jacob Israel video. So shout out to Jacob Israel. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I want to go ahead real quick and see what everybody had to say. I do, once again, thank you for taking the time to join me today. Matthew Millar, I saw your comment when you first made it. This and Stranger Than Fiction, self-sovereignty are the duality principles needed for freedom. Privacy and encryption, I agree. This is why I've gotten this element, and I appreciate that you recognize that, Matthew. 151crypto.com, what's going on? Sup to you. Another thing that Matthew said was individual privacy and sovereignty. Cypher sings Crypto Kings. Incidentally, have you investigated James T. Lovett, particularly his position on Reclaim Your Hidden Nation, your last name? I'm not really familiar with this guy. So, Matthew, if you could message me on Telegram at RiceTVX, and it's just 1X, RiceTVX. So if you look and you see one with more than 1X, that's a scammer. I've been trying to report that account. Or you can email me at ricemediagroup@protonmail.com. ricemediagroup@protonmail.com. Forrest Jackson, what's going on, my friend? Mr. B, yes, we are going against the grain. MS, good seeing you. Brain Drain, hey peeps, like-minded brothers and sisters, be sovereign and sit together, and hit the like button. Hit that like button. Thanks for tuning in, Tara Spence. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Well, I'm not sure what Sherry Ives is saying here, but okay. I appreciate. Chapter 1 of the Book of Cypher. Definitely like and share. That'd be greatly appreciated. What's going on, Mr. Johnny Blackout Bays? Good seeing you. Robert Hammock and your magic with the K. Appreciate you tuning in, my friend. All right, let's see here. B Chad says, I feel rulers benefit more from privacy than people. I disagree. But we can always agree to disagree. But definitely, if maybe you might have missed something, I would encourage you to go and read the Cypherpunks Manifesto yourself, and then dive a little bit deeper into the subject, and I think you'll understand what they were doing. Kara, thank you for tuning in. It could definitely be a made-up individual. I don't know, but the cool thing is, I talk about this on that Bitcoin video that I put out Monday, 14 years ago. This changed the world. Definitely check that out, because I go into talking a little bit about Satoshi and Bitcoin and the code. It is open source. If you understand code, which I don't, but I know people who I trust that do, people can audit and go over and review all the code. Everything about Bitcoin is a glass house. So you don't have to trust it. You verify. And it's possible. That's why it's the most secure system in the world. So check out that video if you haven't already. Vegas Freeballer. Love the name. What's happening? Snap, crackle, and pop is happening. MS, you mentioned this in a comment. I have no clue what XRDC is, and I'll try to look into it, but I don't cover just any random current cryptocurrencies. There's so many different projects out there, and a lot of them actually aren't doing anything that's beneficial at all. There shouldn't be nowhere near as many cryptocurrencies as there are. I believe looking at, let me go ahead and pull up the website. On CoinMarketCap, they say that right now there's 21,630 cryptocurrencies. Now, do you think that is necessary? That we need that many cryptocurrencies? So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up for everybody to see. You can see it right up here at the top. And there's 522 exchanges. There's right over $1 trillion in market cap. But there's 21,630 cryptocurrencies, and we definitely don't need any more, and we don't need that many. I would say probably 50 projects, maybe within a top 100 would be more beneficial for us. But there's a lot of speculation out there and a lot of people just trying to take your money. I will try to look into it, and if I find something of value, I may cover it, but I can't guarantee you, my friend. You keep asking this question in the comments, and I've seen it, and I've tried getting you to expound upon it. Matthew, I'm still considering when I'm going to do that, and if I do it, I'm not going to be doing it on YouTube. I'm going to be doing it on Odyssey and Rumble. So again, make sure you're subscribed to Odyssey and Rumble, not Odyssey or Rumble. Subscribe to both Odyssey and Rumble because something could happen to my YouTube channel. And this way you'll be able to find my live exclusive content. And then another thing is if you sign up for my mailing list, if you go to ricetvx.com, which I'll pull that up real quick. Here we go. You go to ricetvx.com, and this is going to be the first thing that you see. It's this little pop-up that says never miss an update or new Rice TVX and Rice Against the Grain content. You can stay ahead of censorship. And by doing that, you need to sign up with your email address to receive the Rice TVX newsletter. Once you do that and you submit to me, then you can close it. Once you close it, you'll find links for all of my channels and social media. Rice Against the Grain on YouTube, Rice TVX on YouTube, my Patreon channel where you can support me directly, Rumble, Odyssey, my Twitter account, where I'm at on Truth Social, float.app. Shout out to float.app because they promote free speech. You can also find Rice Radio. I'm going to be updating Rice Radio probably by the beginning of the year. I'll start having most of my videos in an audio format. And if you want to hear my former music that I previously did, I used to sing. I still sing, but I sang in metal bands and electronic EDM music as well. So you could check those out with these last two links, Reverb Nation and SoundCloud. So I think that's about it. I do appreciate everybody tuning in. Actually, I got to go back over the rest of the comments. Sorry about that. Black beans, dirty rice, archaics. Definitely going to try to get archaics back on soon. And I did upload the part 1 and part 2 of my first conversation with Jason Brashears from Archaics on Rice Against the Grain. If you haven't checked that out, Dime, thanks for sharing a link. I appreciate that, my friend. Make sure you guys are subscribed. RATG, the Rat G, Rice Against the Grain. Thank you, Kara. MS Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. I'm going to be doing a video with somebody who's very involved with that project. No, Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Bitcoin Satoshi Vision is trying to emulate what Bitcoin was originally created for, which some people disagree that Bitcoin is not doing that anymore, which I do talk about that on that Bitcoin video that I put out on Monday about Bitcoin, the Bitcoin white paper. So be sure to check that out. It's not Bitcoin, and the main coder developer behind it, Craig Wright, is claiming to be Satoshi Nakamoto himself, but he can't prove it and he hasn't proven it. So without him proving it, he's just going around lying to people, in my opinion. He's suing a bunch of people for defamation, but he has not been able to prove to anybody that he is Satoshi Nakamoto. But I will be doing a video with Kurt Werkert Jr., who's with CoinGeek, and he's very involved with BSV. He's actually a BSV miner, runs a mining pool, and very knowledgeable. You can also look up, I did already have him on the channel. If you want to look that up, his last name is spelled Wuckert Jr., Kurt Werkert Jr. You could check that out just by searching on YouTube, on Rumble, or on Odyssey, and you'll be able to check that out. Okay, Kara, that was me that reached out on Telegram today. Okay, I've gotten a couple of messages on Telegram, but I think I know who you're talking about. Thank you, Kara. I appreciate. Much love. And let's see here. Did anybody catch this scammer? This one right here is trying to promote the porn tier. Let me see. Block user. Dime, you're doing a great job posting links, but we got to definitely make sure that we are blocking these spammers, especially the sex ad stuff. Okay, MS, I appreciate you following up on that. I will definitely look more into what you had to say, and I appreciate you expounding and explaining that. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate you guys tuning in for today's video. Tomorrow, I haven't set the time yet, but tomorrow I will be going live talking about the channel changes, urging people to subscribe to Rise Against the Grain, Rumble, Odyssey. Also, I will be doing an interview, lesson number 2 with KL. If you're into the legal fiction law studies, that will be immediately uploaded, unedited, no ads, over on my Patreon channel Saturday. So it should be up Saturday late afternoon. And I will be releasing it publicly sometime next week, mid to late next week, on Rice Against the Grain. I will be going live this Sunday with Ethan Lucas for Spirituality of Law. We're going to do 2 more episodes on Rice TVX, and then we will continue from there on Rumble and Odyssey, and then those videos will make their way to Rice Against the Grain YouTube channel. So Rice Against the Grain YouTube channel, aside from uploading older videos from a best of the Stranger Than Fiction stuff, is really going to get the content last, because it's going to be uploaded to Rumble, where it will automatically transfer over to my YouTube channel. And I may create another Rumble channel and Odyssey channel for Rice Against the Grain. I'm still considering that. I may keep everything in one spot on Rice TVX, on Rumble and Odyssey, but I'll keep everybody updated. Sign up for my mailing list. Thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoyed learning about a Cypherpunks manifesto. Again, if you haven't liked this video yet, I would encourage you to smash that like button. If you enjoyed it, I would encourage you to share it with others. I would encourage you to check out the video that I put out on Monday about the Bitcoin white paper. Thank you for tuning in for today's video. I want to leave you with this. I encourage you to be a blessing to others, to treat people how you want to be treated, to be the change you want to see in the world, be the glitch you want to see in the matrix. Practice change. Until next time, much love.